Hello, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Drew.
From Cosmic Crit, and we are here with a very special video. We are doing an unboxing of a box. Drew, what is it?
Well, let's just say you're interested in Starfinder, but you've never played Starfinder before. You could consider yourself a beginner. Well, this box might be perfect for beginners because it's
the Starfinder Beginner Box.
Oh, yeah. The Starfinder Beginner Box has everything you need to run your first encounter, your first play test.
Pretty cool new art on the box, I gotta say.
Yes, and in fact, there's more to this dragon right here, if you can see it, than meets the eye. But we're going to dive in and see what sort of goodies comes in this thing.
What's inside? I actually haven't even looked at this stuff, so this is all new to me.
So,
Drew cheated.
I did. I opened it a little bit. And one of the first things that I found was cards. These are cards for Munchkin and Star Munchkin. They are Goblin cards. Goblin and Space Goblin, which are awesome.
Well, it's for Starfinder Munchkin.
Well, one is for Pathfinder Munchkin, and one is for Starfinder Munchkin.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. We have Starfinder Munchkin, so those will come in very handy.
Definitely. So beyond that, of course, you have what could potentially be your first set of dice.
Oh, so if you were getting this for a kid or something, or somebody's like very first tabletop RPG set, oh, that'd be so cute.
Yeah. A bunch of stands. We'll get to those in a minute. Oh, these are pretty cool. We'll get to those in a minute too. And beyond that, there are just so many things. A little guide of everything to get in here. Next up are character sheets. There are a number of character sheets that you can fill out that have all of the good information on them.
Ooh, nice and thick paper too.
Yeah.
So those look pretty good.
Including a little spot on the side for where you can set your dice, which is kind of neat. We also have the couple of books. Get to these in a second here too. We have the Game Master's Guide, which is a guide to introduce you to some of the rules, not everything that you're going to find in the core rule book, as well as take your players on their very first adventure. There is actually an adventure in this guide, in addition to a player's handbook that you can have players go through, which introduces you to the world of Starfinder, has some feats, has some different character traits. Again, not everything you're going to find in the core rulebook, but everything you need to get started. You've also got...
I'm sorry, I just got to stop you. I mean, I, being pretty new to tabletop RPG, the rulebook is pretty thick and pretty intimidating, especially if you don't know, if you don't have people to kind of walk you through it. So this is a little bit easier to handle. So if you have someone who might be a little intimidated by that big core rule book that still wants to try Starfinder, this might be a really good option for a group like that.
Akatas.
They can't see that you're showing it to me.
I'm not gonna. You have to get it if they want to see inside.
He's a tease. I love the art. I just want to look at all the art. You're skipping over probably the most important thing. So the Hero's Handbook, I'm just looking through this for the very first time. The first thing that I see when I open it up is a solo adventure, which I assume is something you can go through by yourself, but learn some of the rules for real.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's
pretty cool. I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah, so you clearly did not flip through these books, but yeah, so that could be a really hands-on way to learn some of the basics of Starfinder. I think that's really neat. You don't even need a GM to play something like that. So pretty cool. And it looks like it breaks down how to quick start a character as well. A little bit easier to digest than the 14 pages at the beginning of the core rulebook. So,
yeah.
Cool.
So you've also got your iconics. Of course, here is my girl Navasi, the Envoy iconic. And it gives you basically a full character sheet laid out. I know you guys can't really read this. One of the things I love most about it is all of the things are filled in. It looks like it's handwritten, which I think is fantastic.
It's a nice little touch.
It's just a fun touch that makes it feel a little more...
It looks like these are a little more detailed than some of the pre-gen sheets that I've seen before that aren't super... I mean, I guess they're more condensed.
Yeah.
Maybe they have the same amount of information, but this might be a little easier to read.
Of course, we've also got an awesome flip mat. One that is completely just whatever you want to do with it, and one that I will show you guys a little bit of for just a second.
Just show it.
Well,
they can't copy it.
But it's the flip mat.
What are they going to do? Like freeze frame the video and take a screenshot?
Well, it's the flip mat for the adventure. So it's set up for the adventure in the Game Master's Guide. So I don't want to show too much.
Okay.
So in addition to that, you have a bunch of pawns. All sorts of them, including a few that we have run across in the Dead Sons adventure path, like that guy there. I don't want to say too much.
Spoilers, I guess.
Including one for the robot dragon that's on the front of the game box. And there are, wow, a ton of these things. There's a Kasarik. I'm looking for the Akata. Of course, there's an Akata. And it goes perfect with all of the stands that I've hidden somewhere over here of all different shapes and sizes, including one yellow one if you have a particular pawn that just needs to stand out. Or I guess if you had two of the same kind of enemy that you're going up against, you could identify the one with the yellow base or the one with the black base or the one with the snazzy base.
Is there a snazzy base in there?
Well, it's the yellow base. It's snazzy. And of course, play Starfinder Society. You can go to Cosmic Crit's Discord and join Starfinder Society games all the time. And this gets you into a little bit about where you can go to find out more information about the society. So there is a lot of stuff in here. So what we are going to do is we're going to pause a little bit. We're going to thumb through these books and just see if anything stands out that we feel like we need to share. Be back in a flash. So as we go through the Game Master's Guide, there are a number of things, a whole bunch of monsters, a whole bunch of things that you can use to set up your games. But one thing I really like is that it gives you big numbers of this number 1 is this section and this number 2 is this section, so that you can go through some of these monsters, some of these enemies, and you know what does what. It's really, really handy if you're somebody that has never GM'd anything before, which I think is pretty cool. It gives you kind of a pared down version of what you would get in the core rulebook, and it's neat. It doesn't give you everything. One notable exception that I've noticed in both of these books as we're going through them, space combat is not really a part of this, and I wonder if that's just because it's slightly too different than everything else. I don't know. Also, this is all stuff that's only coming out of the core rulebook, not anything from the Armory, or I think some of the monsters are Pact Worlds and Alien Archive. But outside of that, the classes that you can choose from, obviously the character operations manual is not out yet, but everything is pretty much set.
Like Drew said, with the Game Master's Manual, the player handbook is very similar in that it really, really breaks down how to build your characters. So, I mean, it makes it very clear of, like, if you're building an envoy, then you're going to write envoy as your class in section B. And it tells you exactly what you need to write down in your character sheet.
All of these have big section A. So in section A, do this. In section D, do this.
So it really walks you through filling it out for the first time, which is great. I think that would be really helpful. And then additionally, it only goes through level 4, but it really takes level by level exactly what will change. So one of the things that is really daunting for a new player when you're working with the core rulebook is every time you level up, you have to go through all of your abilities and see what may have changed. Did a stat change? Did the range on this ability change or whatever because I leveled up? This really takes you level by level. Because you're second level, this is what's going to change. This is what you need to update on your sheet. It really walks you through that through level 4. Hopefully by level 4 you kind of know what you're doing, and you can pick up the core rulebook, but not everybody does.
I once I forgot to give Knack a feat at a level and he just went featless for 2 levels.
Yeah, that's on you.
It was on me, but again, we're new to this kind of stuff. Another thing I'll say about that is that not only do these character sheets only, or at least the character descriptions only go to level 4, they don't give you every ability. So for example, if you look at the Envoy sheet, there are 2 or 3 abilities that you can pick up at level 2 or level 3 instead of the wealth of all of them that you can get. It really kind of focuses you on this is here, this is here, this is here, and kind of, so it's a little more structured of a character building process for a player going through their first time through a campaign.
Yeah, and you noticed even in the feat section, it has next to each of them the classes that they're recommended for, I guess, that they're really meant for. Just to give you another hint, as you're building your character, there's also a whole section of character suggestions of, like, if you're building an Envoy, these are the kinds of stats you want to focus on. These are some of the abilities you might want to pick up. So it really just walks you through all of that so that you're not going in blind.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, there is one thing. There's actually a bunch of them. These are pretty cool, and I kind of want to keep them next to my recording space. They are little rules cards. So basically,
get closer so you can actually see.
So basically, what you can do on your turn, and I know that's a little fuzzy right there. Sorry about that. It tells you about resting, tells you about the different actions you can take, whether it's a move action or a standard action. And on the back, it's not all of them, but it does have some different status effects. So flat-footed, frightened, basically ones that are going to show up in the adventures that you can run out of this book.
Yeah, and then all the other, well, maybe not all of the other conditions, but some of the other conditions are also listed in the player handbook. So if you needed those. I noticed that the artwork that they used in this are the same goblin artwork as on the condition cards, which I love. So.
So that is about it. I think the beginner box looks really cool. It's something that I kind of wish we had a couple of years ago, because we're the new players to this stuff, and we've been doing this for a year and a half, and I still struggle with character sheets. It was kind of nice looking through this to see, okay, this, do this math, that sort of thing, and not get a little more of a handhold through it. Just because I think this Starfinder is a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game system, and it's something that I think could really reach out to a lot of people that have never played any tabletop RPG before.
Well, and I was going to say, we have friends who are big board game enthusiasts that play all kinds of board games, really complicated board games, but they're not into tabletop role-playing games. I'm not sure they even play them. I kind of want to get one of these for them. I think that they would really like it. They would probably devour it. And it's a little easier to digest, I guess. Yeah. It's all in one box. It's consolidated. You have everything you need to run a game or to create a character, at least, right there in the box. I think it's pretty cool. So I think it'd be a great gift for someone who likes board games or wants to try out tabletop RPGs, any age really, especially if you have a kid that you can kind of help them out a little bit.
They do recommend it for 13 and up.
Yeah.
And all of this is available for $40, which is pretty great considering all the stuff that you get with it. Everything to do a game, to start it out and get going. I want to do one thing. I want to see how lucky these dice are. We'll see. 13. What a great number. I'm not going to hit any.
You were actually honest with that. You could have just said, "Oh, a 20."
I'm an honest guy.
To a fault.
Yep. So that is going to do it for this. Of course, you can check out the beginner box on Paizo.com. It is available now as you are seeing this, probably available everywhere. that you can find Paizo stuff. You can find us at cosmiccrit.com, twitch.tv/cosmiccrit, youtube.com/cosmiccrit, at cosmiccrit on Twitter, cosmiccrit@gmail.com.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of Cosmic Crit, we just wrapped up our first season, Dead Sons, and are now playing against the Aeon Throne. Definitely check it out. It's a good time to jump into the podcast. We're up on YouTube and iTunes and everywhere else. So check us out.
Yeah. And we're going to end this with a Starfinder salute. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. But have a good one, everybody. And check us out on Discord. If you have any questions about what we have gone through with this, we would be happy to answer what we can.
Yep.
Until next time.